Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lili nishmas imi mirosi was Mordechai. Ayoim shisha besim yoim sheim shlisha shavuos v'chamisha yomim ba'omer and loimer. Oh, sorry. Ayoim shisha besim yoim sheim shlisha shavuos v'chamisha yomim loimer. Rabbi Isai, here's the winner for Daf Chof Ches Kahut. Kahut is a Chazara program that makes Chazara fun, and there are hundreds of people that joined us. Let's see what it goes. Oh. SB wins the $50 for 28 and now 29. Real quickly. Chof Tes, Daf Chof Tes. There are winners. This is $50, right? Akiva K. And finally, for Daf Lamed, Osher S. Yishkoyach. Isaac Tiffenbron. So I started learning with you towards the end of Nazir every day when I learned my dog, Lala. Shout out to Lala. I'm sure the dog will appreciate it. Comes to sit with me and partake in the shir. I decided it was time for her to get some sort of recognition. This is two wrongs. It's a girl. Yeah, it's a girl also.
No, she shouldn't be watching.
See, you started up, even though I didn't say anything to you. I decided that it was time for her to get some sort of recognition, sitting daily and doing the daf with me. So I made her a necklace that represents MDY. On a serious note, I'm grateful for your devotion and time to prepping and giving over the Gemara with such geschmack. I've not learned Gemara for almost 20 years. And started learning and enjoying as Rod Yishuyurim, Shikoyach, Gomer, Isaac T. Guys, what's going on here today? Pesach number maven. I'd started my time in the car to Chazor instead of doing other things. Started Masechet Shabbos, and today I learned Daf Beis, which is also the Sugya Rameg, not being understood by Melachim. It's amazing how Hashem works it out. I love the shir. Pesach Kahana, Brooklyn, New York, a Talmud since Sukkah. Doing other Masechtas in the car. Shalom Rav Eli, from Menachem Shore, from Neve Yaakov, MDY since Moyed. In regards to your point about saying the words of davening slower than one would normally speak, I thought I was saying a controversial thing and shtickle problem, but Baruch Hashem, no hate mails yet, which would seem disrespectful. To daven slow, my old mashgiach in yeshiva of Vida Brazil, who was a main Talmud of Volbe, used to say that a person does not ask his father for something by saying, Dad, Daddy, can I have some money? Speak to Hashem clearly, naturally, respectfully. Hashem should bless you with continued good health and parnasa to be able to keep up the shit for many years. Menachem Shore. The Koil is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Masech is sponsored by Mr. Eli Stefansky, nishmas Menachem Toporowitz. Menachem Mendelov, Shalom Ben Yibal Chaim Arukim, Yehושע Dov Toporowitz. Parnas HaChodesh. The entire MDY family, Lili Nishmas, Avraham Menashe, Ben Aron Moshe. Today is the very last day of the sponsorship. Lili Nishmas, Avraham Menashe, Ben Aron Moshe. And Lili Nishmas, Zechrya Ben Moshe. And another Parnas HaChodesh, Refuah Shleimah for Rav Eli Ben Zissel, Devorah. Parnas HaYoim, Dov Grunbaum. Lili Nishmas, Reb Shimon ben Shleimah Tzvi Grinbom. This is his third Yartzeit today. By Akiva Solkowitz. F 94. You gotta know these things. F94, Akiva Solkowitz is back in the house. Refuah Shleimah from the Nilzev ben Ayelet, Esther, and Avram Yehuda ben Adasa. L'schos, maybe I should do this. Let's see if I can do it. No, that didn't work. L'schos Aram and Rivka Lebrius Haguf V'Nefesh. Lebrius Haguf V'Nefesh. Fourth one, Jack Lou. In loving memory of my father, Avram Yitzchok ben Yaakov Ziv on his third Yartzeit. Did I say that before? No, that was somebody else. 2 third Yartzeits today. And Yaakov and Atara Serle, bris today of our identical grandsons born to Aron Bracha Weiss. I'm assuming this is by Rib Official. The art of the month for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah, Chaim Tzvi ben Leah, identical boys. Wow. Rabbi said we're holding on Daf Lamed Dalid Amud Aleph, a couple lines down, more than a couple. Oh, Shleimah Klein sent this to me after yesterday's shir because I said, I wonder how many thousands of people it takes to make a loaf of bread. So somebody actually did this, and it says making this sandwich from scratch takes 6 months and costs $1,500. I read the whole article, and there's a video how he planted the tomato and then the wheat, and he ground it, and he made mayonnaise, and he had to get a cow, and he milked the cow, and the whole cost him $1,500. You can look it up. Here, just look up that thing. Making the sandwich, and then he takes a bite out of it. After 6 months, he takes a bite out of it. It's like, it's okay. Just okay after. Okay, so Rabbi said here, this is what we learned yesterday, but we did a little bit of boo-boo, so we're doing tshuva now. The kohanim, this is the shita that the pillar of water went up 12 mil, which is approximately 12 kilometers high. They're going to describe the cheshbon, but if you take a look now, the kohanim actually retreat backwards, let the water come back, and then they go over the Yarden with the water in the Yarden, the kohanim. The Klal Yisrael, that was a nace. They hovered over the water. Yesterday's what do you call it? In the sugi yesterday, we didn't have it yet, so Yoshi just put it in as he imagined that they went over with Klal Yisrael. We learned later that that's not how, so we had to take it back. Okay. Now we have, how about this? You don't like it, huh? It's kishmak though. Because then I look at you. Look, you don't see that. It looks like I'm looking at you. It's kivali. We should do this. Okay, so then we have another sheet here that the water stood. We're like 7-8 lines from the top of Amud Aleph. What moves faster, water or human beings? Water can move quicker than human beings, especially if they're schlepping their family and suitcases and everything over the Yarden. Water's going to go quicker. Because if Klal Yisrael is 12 mil long, their camp was 12 by 12, so 12 mil long. If they went as quick as the water can move, great. So the water goes upwards. Let's say it takes 25 minutes for it to reach 12 mil, and in 25 minutes, 12 mil of people walk right through. But it happens to be, says that water moves quicker than human beings. So the water is going to go up 12 mil. By the time Klal Yisrael gets to 6 mil or whatever, the water is going to come back down and drown everybody. There were waves upon waves, more than 300 mil up, and Klal Yisrael is only 12 mil, so they're able to come across the Yarden and survive the water. It's interesting. A mil is 2,000 amma. How much place does a human being, take up? 1 amma. So in 1 mil, you have 2,000 people. In 300 mil, how many do you have? 3 times 2,000. 300 times 2,000. 600,000. Interesting. Maybe that's why he said 300 mil. I don't know, because there's also women.
It just didn't move like in the Yams.
It didn't. It came down. It was going down. Here, check this out. Here we have an animation for the 300 one. Here it goes. Needs some sound there. You ready? Here it goes. Okay. Syrian jet.
No, the jet hit the water?
Yeah.
One spot in the whole country?
Weiter. Says the Gemara, all the malachim in the east, in the west, Shenemar, everybody saw it. Shenemar b'yichishmoy kamalchei amoria shebe'eva yarden yama mizrach. It's a Shahoivish Hashem Esmei Yarden. They all heard about Hashem drying out the waters of the Yarden. B'nei Yisrael for Klal Yisrael Ad Avraham. Vayimas levavam, their heart melted. It melted the heart. They lost the spirit to fight Klal Yisrael. Va'af bracha v'zoyna amra l'shlucha Yeshua ki shamanu is asher hoivish Hashem es me Yamsuf. So this is interesting because me Yamsuf was way before, 40 something years before, right? So Rashi discusses what are we bringing a raya that even though Gershon, the Yamsuf was by Kriyas Yamsuf. We're talking about the Yarden 40 something years later. But that the nace of Yamsuf remained all that time. The Yamsuf, everybody saw the Yamsuf even in their own cups of water. Okay, fine. What's very, very interesting is that from the nace, this big nace of Kriyas Yamsuf, everybody saw it, everybody noticed it. And only 2 people took it to heart, and 2 people became Gerim, Yisra, and Rachav. It's very, very interesting, I think. People see things, they're impressed, but they don't internalize. Only 2 out of millions. 2 people Zaycha. And they got Melucha, etc., etc. Chsiv, Vanishma, Vayimas Levaveinu Velikama Oid. No, I'm right after Meyamsu by Rachav. Chsiv. We heard about this. Vayimas Levaveinu, it melted our hearts. Velikama Oid. Oidem B'Yarden, when Klal Yisrael was in the middle of the bed of the Yarden, Omer Lem Yeshua. So here's another issue with the 12 mil, because they didn't just run across the Yarden. They got into the Yarden and they stopped, they paused, and Yeshua spoke to them. I don't know how long it took, but it definitely took some time, and it gave the water a chance to come back down. That's why Rabbi Elazar argues, Du al matem oivrim es hayarden, understand why you're crossing the Yarden. Al Menachem Toporowitz yoshvei haaretz mipnechem. I want you to destroy the enemy in there. What's the pshat? Why? Stam, Ritzicha, go in there and kill. Because the people there had a very bad influence, that bad hashpa, and I want you to get rid of the hashpa. And whoever you didn't get rid of remained in Eretz Yisrael. And at a certain point, Hashem said, okay, that's it. No more. Whoever stayed, stayed. Think about it. What if all our tzars today are from those few people that remained and they kept on going, and today we have what we have? Hashem says, get rid of them. This is your problem. Get rid of them. You want to be nice and you can't. Later on, generation will suffer. I thought I put a pasuk in here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just see. Oh, here. Let me show this one. Now I have to go back. You see the smichos of the psukim in pasuk Nun Aleph and Nun Beis. Hashem says, you're going to cross the Yarden, and immediately, that's what the Gemara is saying over here. I'm telling you, this is the reason you're going into Eretz Yisrael right now. You're going in to destroy them. Fine. Now, go back over here. I have to go back, I think. Okay. This button is not working. So you can work it for me. Shkoyach. If you listen to me, you'll destroy the enemy. Great. Then the water will come and destroy oisichem. My oisichem. Oisi ve'eschem. Yeshua and you. Yeshua's talking. If you don't listen to me, these waters, we're standing right here. It's like Kof Aleim Harki Gigas kind of thing. They're in the water, they're in the bed where there used to be water flowing. Now the water is up in the sky. Listen to me. If you're going to go in there and kill out the enemy, great. If not, it's going to come and drown us. Oisi v'oischem. So there's a very interesting thesis here. Look at Taisus Dibber Maskul Oidam Biyardim. Oidam Biyardim. Second Taisus from the top. So Taisus says, Yishalmi Omer Shlakish Biyardim Kibla Aleim Esanis Staros. What's this Nistaris business? In the Yarden, Klal Yisrael accepted upon himself Arvos. Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh. We're all brothers, and if we don't do something right, Yeshua is going to be punished. We're brothers. It's one mishpacha. Taisa says all the way at the end. Omar Reb Levi, biyavne hutra haritzua. That was it. That kind of arvos of literally somebody else dying because of my sin. Yotze baskol ba'amra ein lochem esik ben astarais. The nistaris are over. But it's a very interesting thing. This arvos, Kol Yisrael Arevim, to the point where oisichem, oisiveschem, you do something wrong, Yeshua will kill Yeshua.
And that Klal Yisrael were mamash, that's afterwards. Right?
No. It says over here that it happened in the Yarden, but it went all the way to Yavna. Yavna. Yeah. They were still in the Yarden. Yeshua horim lochem ish even achas al shichmoy. Lift up a stone. Now you would think a stone is, this size. A stone. The mispar shiftei Yisrael. Each human being, each person there, 12 of them, lift up a stone. 24 maybe. What are these stones? So here we have something nice, Grada. Check this out. So this is the Yarden. And they had 12 stones in the bed of the Yarden. And each stone, we're going to see, is the size of a refrigerator, like 40 saw. And they took the stones and they put these stones on the side so that later generations are going to ask, what are these 12 stones? What's going on here? Just wanted to show you, I spoke to Yoshi last night. He said he made these stones from scratch. Like literally, he showed me in Photoshop how he made it from scratch. Fine. I want to show you something else later. Beseder. Enough. Simin levanim sha'avru avoises hayarden will be a good sign for the future generations that Klal Yisrael went through the Yarden, and here these are the stones to prove it. Oidem hayarden amar Yeshua. Sulachem izemi toich hayarden mimatzav ragli Akiva. There's another set of stones, 12 stones. Take another 12 stones from the feet of the Kayanim where they were standing. Take these 12 stones. Lift them up. Each person takes one of these stones, 40 saw, 2,500 pounds maybe, and bring it to where you're going to rest in the Gilgal. Maybe they should carry it everywhere. Just one place, tonight, in Gilgal. Omer Rav Yehuda, Abba Chalafta, Rabbi Lezer ben Masio. Who's Rabbi Yehuda? Rabbi Yehuda bar Eli. My father, Abba, his name is Chalafta, not Abba Chalafta. Rabbi Yehuda is talking. Well, there's a problem a little bit, so l'chayr, that's why the gur is here, Rabbi Yosi. Because Rabbi Yosi is the son of Chalafta, not Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is bar Eli. So they put in here Rabbi Yosi. Abba Chalafta. Rabbi Lezer ben Masio. V'chanani ben Chanichoi. Amdu alayson avonim v'shiarom. They stood there, they looked at these stones, and they decided how large they were. Each one is like a mikvah. Have you ever seen a very small mikvah? It's not that small. Imagine in stone, weight in stone. I think Tomer, you made the math, 2,500 pounds. 2,500 kilos. It's 5,000 pounds. 5,000 pounds. One person lifted up. The size of a small refrigerator. Ugimiri, the tuna, the madle. I'll get this out of my throat. Ugimiri, the tuna, the madle, inish, the katve. When a person has something on his shoulder, tilta the tune have a person could lift up 1/3 of what other people could carry for him. In other words, if a human being could lift up 40 saw. So his friend can lift up for him 120 saw and put it on his shoulder. You know, like you go to a chasana. You try to lift up the chasen. There's no way you're gonna like lift up the chasen and the friend on top of the chasen and a little kid. But it's done in a chasana, right? How? Because people lift him up. Once he's up, he gets to go. He can go with 3 people on his shoulder. I've never seen anybody go from the floor with 3 people on the shoulder. Right? It's tough. But I've seen people, 3 people on chasana, then I've seen 3, 4 people, done. Why? Because other people help you. Once they get the weight on top of you, you could lift 3 times the amount.
You can bear the weight.
You can bear the weight. To lift the weight is different. Okay. I don't know if that's how it works with weights also. 3 times? 2 worker-outers.
Somebody come and do it.
Yeah, we should have had somebody. As a matter of fact. No, not today, not today.
Okay, you just pick him up, it's fine.
Rav Eli, when I was learning this, you could take from every Gemara something. I was thinking, you said, so I'm going to talk about you, Mendy. You said, so don't say, but you're going to like this. Manishtana this year from Moshe Yurim, in the beginning when we started, it's not one person giving a shir. There's dozens and dozens of people behind the scenes. Because one person can only lift a certain amount. But we have you, and all the chaver that sit here on the table, and all the people that are involved in Gerish and this one and that one, Yosef, Tomer, it goes on and on and on and on. You have Mark Ashkenazis of the world, Yossi Klein, so many people. I'm not mentioning all the names, Bemis. Because everybody is part of it, and everybody is mishtatif, and everybody lifts. Once, if everybody's part of it, you could reach 3 times the amount of a normal weight. So, no, that's because one dog started it off. Now there's a lot of dogs. Fine. Yeah, not bad. You said for nothing. Okay, we'll go weiter. Hold on, before you show anything, I don't want to. I get a reshus from Art Scroll, and here let me show you. This is the picture in Art Scroll. But I told Yoshi, we got to go color. We got to show this in color. So I want to show you what happens when he goes in color. This is from scratch. He made each grape from scratch. I'll show you here. Actually, here, mamish from scratch. So. Eshkol means, according to Rashi, they brought back a whole, what is it called? A cluster of grapes. Thank you. So shenemar veiso b'moit b'shnayim. They carried it on a pole, two people. It says Gemara Mashma shenemar b'moit eni yudesh b'shnayim. It says veiso who? 2 people carried it. So I know it's Vayisau Rabim Bamoit, 1 pole, and Idash B'Shnayim, Matam Eloimar B'Shnayim. It says Vayisau, there's already, we know 2 people carry. So why does the Torah repeat the word Shnayim? B'Shnei Moitos. It was 2 poles. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak, Turtani V'Turtani. There's a pole, under a pole, the Turtani. So basically, if you have 2 poles, going north to south. And then there's another pole underneath it going on an angle, and another pole going underneath it on it. So there's a total of 4 poles. Each pole, 2 people hold a pole. So you have a total of 8 people. So it's turtani. You have the 2 poles, and then you have another pole going on an angle this way. So it's turtani to turtani. And then you have another pole going on the other angle, so it's turtani to turtani. Turtani to turtani to turtani. Fine. So now I know that it's 8 people. Now we just said that a person could carry 40 saw, but if they help you lift it, you're bearing the weight, a person could carry 120 saw, 3 stones. So over here, they helped each other out, lifting the weight, right? The two people that started out, the other people helped them put it on, and then they put the mite underneath. So they're helping. So if they're helping, each person could carry 120 saw. 120 saw times the 8 people, that means that the grapes weighed 960 saw. 960 mikvahs. 960 refrigerators. It's just interesting, I like to point out the interesting stuff. Tosfos says over here something I've never known. Then he brings Yerushalmi that there were 24 miraglim. We're used to that there was 12 miraglim. Tosfos says no, there's 24. 16 carried the grapes, and the rest carried the Rimonim and Teinim. See Yerushalmi? So then it comes out, there was 1,920 pound a saw of grapes. No, I don't know. What? Saw's volume. Right. Oh, so you're saying that the grapes weighed less than the stone? Yeah. Okay. Because more like water. Water weighs half. Okay, I got it. Says the Gemara, 8 of them, of the Meraglim, carried the grapes. Echad nasa rimoin. One of them carried a rimoin. Echad nasa ta'ena. One carried the ta'ena. Yeshua kalev lo nasu klum. Obviously, the Bavli argues in the Yerushalmi. There was only 12 Meraglim. 2 of them, Kalev and Yeshua, didn't carry anything. What did they carry? They carried the suitcases, whatever they had to carry. The rest carried fruit, and they weren't part of it. We're going to see why. There was a Maisa where all these Maisas lead to the same place, basically. A guy was going on a trip, and his wife packed him a suitcase. Here's all your stuff. She put in the pajamas and the pants, the whole thing. And on his travel, he comes into like some cave. He comes into the cave, and he realizes that this is a cave of the pirates. And he looks around, and he sees gold and diamonds, piles of stuff. So he starts filling his pockets up, and then he's like, "Okay, I need to bring more. It's once in a lifetime opportunity." So he looks at his suitcase. No, the socks and pajamas. He can't. There's no room to put anything in. So he left Azoi. He left. And what's the mashal? To us in life, we come here, we chap around a little Gemara, a little bit, but we don't have time for any more Gemara. We don't have any time for Chazara. We don't have time for other stuff because our suitcase is full. We have a lot of stuff, and we're missing opportunities. We're leaving opportunities in the cave. Says the Gemara, why didn't they have to carry? Mishum Chashivi, Kalev and Yeshua happened to be more chashin than the rest. The rest of the oilam, the meraglim, didn't force them to take any of the fruit. They didn't want to be involved. It was actually dangerous not to be involved. Maybe they could get killed, but they weren't part of it. Rabbi Yehuda is the one that says that the water was 12 mil high. So here you see, we had this picture yesterday. This is the encampment of Klal Yisrael. So you see this in the left side, there are 2 rows of camps, 1 and 2, which is 6 shvatim. Each square of white is a shevet. So you have Yehuda and Ruvain. The Degel Yehuda is by the most left yellow arrow where the Aron went, and that's camp number 1, that's 3 shvatim. Degel Yehuda is 3 shvatim, and camp number 2 is Ruvain, another 3 shvatim. Klal Yisrael was 12 by 12. So what we have here is, as we saw before, the column of water was 12 mil tall because Klal Yisrael is 12 mil long. Rav Elazar, who says that it was 300 mil tall, it's because Klal Yisrael went one by one into the Yarden, one person at a time. And another man says, no, everybody agrees that they all went in one shot, like the width of the camp. Not in one shot, but the width of the camp. So what's the machlokes? Why does he say that the column is 12 mil versus 300 mil? One man, the Omer, says that a person could move quicker than water. Umar savar mayim kalim. And the other one says that water moves quicker than human beings. So I want to do something here with the olam because I had an argument with my chavrus about this. So I want to see what the olam says. The Rishonim ask, seriously, and I'll tell you who the Rishonim are. The Rishonim ask, how is it possible that the Gemara is arguing in a Metzias? What goes quicker? Take a human being, put him next to the Jordan River, and start walking. See who goes quicker. Is that a problem? So I'm going to tell you two answers, and you tell me which one you like more. First answer is that Klal Yisrael was so excited and enthusiastic to get to Eretz Yisrael that they ran quicker than the water. In this case, usually the water goes quicker than a human being, but in this case they ran quicker. That's teretz number one. And if you like teretz number one, you raise your hand afterwards. If you like teretz number two, raise your other hand. Fine, we'll see in a second how to do this. If you like this pshat. The other pshat is, No. They went in a dry bed. There's no water. The other pshat is that the water going upwards slowed down because it had to fight gravity. So it was going slower. Usually when water goes downwards, downhill, it goes quicker than a human being. But over here it's going upwards towards the sky, so it went slower. Rabbi Isai, teretz number one, raise your hand. Teretz number two. Just 3-4 people. Okay. Teretz number one this is Taisus Kasha. Teretz number one is mine. I thought that was the teretz. Mechavrus made fun of me. Teretz number two is Taisvus. I just want to, okay. So I'm going to go back and say, don't make fun of me anymore. Okay. I'm not saying Chas Shalom that I know more than Taisus. I want to understand why Taisus said that. Okay, fine. Sponsor. Thank you. Greg Haber for Bracha, Atzlach Parnos and Brios for my entire family, Rav Eli, and everyone learning the Daf. Yeah. Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky needs a Refuah Shleimah. We're going to learn from him. What's his name? Rav Shmuel Ber Gita Ittel Refuah Shleimah. What? What is it? He had the name before. He had a stroke. I guess in America last night. Reb Shmuel Ben Yuta Etel. Okay. We said this already. Shlach l'cha anoshim. Rabbi said we're going to the Parsha Meraglim. I now remember on that sign why you should learn Sotah, why it's so geschmack. It says Daf Lamed. So it's about the Meraglim. Here we go. Shlach l'cha anoshim. It says you shall send you Moshe Rabbeinu. Shlach l'cha. You, on your own, you send these meraglim. You decided to send them. I didn't tell you. Why? Is it possible that Baruch Hu should give a tzivui to Moshe Rabbeinu? Send the meraglim to Yisrael and then he's going to be upset at Moshe Rabbeinu? It's impossible. I thought it was a great idea. The Taishan says here on the spot that Moshe Rabbeinu, and you do this, we see this a lot. You go to I don't know what. You go to a store and the guy says, you want to, here, test it out. And you say, no, it's okay, say there. Once a person says, test it out, he gains your trust. He's even willing they should test it out. He doesn't really mean it sometimes, but it depends. Sometimes you trust him, sometimes. Moshe Rabbeinu said, yeah, why don't you go? You want to go? Go, be a miragle. He thought once he'll give them permission, they're going to say, okay, we don't want to go. We trust Hashem. What's the problem? The big problem is that Hashem promised that it's a Eretz Zovas Chol V'Dvash, it's a beautiful land. You're going to enjoy it. It's great. You're going to conquer it. So what are you doubting HaKadosh Baruch Hu? After all the nisim, everything you saw with Mitzrayim, the Makos, and Kris Yamsuf, and everything, you're still doubting Hashem. That's the taina over here. Be'einai, Omer Shlokish Be'einai, it was my idea, V'loi Be'einav Shel Makom, HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't agree to it. V'yachber Elon Sa'aretz, Omer Ebchia Barabo, Meraglim L'Yiskavnu, Elul Boshto Shel Eretz Yisrael. They were bad to the core. They tried to shame Eretz Yisrael from the first minute before they even went. They already had preconceived notions. They already thought to themselves, it's a terrible place. They didn't go and then all of a sudden they got scared of the giants. They went, Adaita Dahache. The moon was, became smaller. The sun is embarrassed. It's a lashon of busha, of shaming. Ve'ele shmoisam, lamati Reuven Shamua ben Zakur. And we saw this many times in Shas, that a name we even had by Lachluchas. Remember? Lachluchas, the only good thing he was able to see in this woman Lachluchas was that her name was perfect. It fit her look. Like she had nothing good going for her besides her essence. Her essence was that her face was weird, her eyes, everything was weird about her. Her name was perfect. We have a Messiah, Miraglim Hashem Asayim Nikru. If you look at every single name of the Miraglim, you can see that they were bad. Their parents called them names that showed who they are. Unfortunately, we lost it over the years. We only know 1 out of the 12 or the 10. Sasur ben Michal, that one we know. Sasar Masov, he denied HaKadosh Baruch Hu's creation. Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says Zavas Chalav. There was Soiser, his words. It's not Zavas Chalav. The Marsha brings here, maybe it's a lashon of that HaKadosh Baruch Hu hid, haster, that they hid the nisim HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed Klal. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did so many open nisim gluyim, and they threw it under the floor. They were master the nest. So Michal, look, you look at the father also. Now, obviously, if a person is born with a certain name, doesn't mean he's going to be a bad person. You can take the name and make it good. Michal could be a good name. Sasser could also be a good name. But at the end of the day, when he chose to go a certain way, now you see what the name really meant. Michal Shasa Atzmoi. Atzmoi over here is a Lashon Saginar. It's a nice way of saying it. Atzmoi means Hashem. He made Hashem mach. He said Hashem is weak. You know what? We have another one we could figure out on our own maybe. Nachbi, Shehirbi Dvar HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a lashon of hiding. He hid Hashem's words. Vafsi shepisei al midos HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He stepped over HaKadosh Baruch Hu's midos. Vayalu b'negev, vayavoi ad Chevron. They went south and they came until Chevron. If we're saying this pasuk, I have to say the very famous story about the Heilige Vilna Gaon, who was Pesach morning, and he looked sad. His Talmidim said, what happened? He said that he dreamt on the pasuk Alu Zebanegev. And the reason I'm bringing it out, because when you read the pasuk Alu Zebanegev, you should climb south. There's nothing in there. There's nothing. Well, okay, Alu Zebanegev. Here, we just read. Vayalu Banegev. They went up south. So, he said he learned, I don't remember the amount, crazy amount of pshatim in Alu Zebanegev, in those 3 words. And when he woke up, he was so excited, he started rethinking what he learned. And because he thought about it before, because of Torah, he forgot it all. So he's bitzar. Later on, they saw him and they asked him, what happened? He says he davened, and he got back 2,260 pshatim in Alu Zebanegev. You hear? In Alu Zebanegev, 3 words. Which some of them, or maybe all of them, showed him the Yitzira and why every Bria is there and how each animal works and why. That's what he said. In Alu Zebanegev. Okay, weiter. Alu Zebanegev. Vayalu Banegev vayavoy ad Chevron. So look at this pasuk. Vayalu, plural. They went up, okay, because we're talking about Klai, the Miraglim. Vayavoy, and one came to Chevron. What's going on here? Continue with the plural. Listen to this. This is going to shock people. It's a good thing Dr. Factor's sleeping. Okay. He's not. I wasn't looking, but I just... Okay. It was a quick sleep then. Kalev went, and he went to Maris HaMachpelah. Omar Lahen, listen to this lashon. Rabbi Sai, it's a big problem, this lashon. He tells the Avos, Avosai, Bakshu Olai Rachamim, please ask for me, Rachmanas, and not sell matzas meraglim. So first of all, he realized that he's in big tzaras here, that he could be nichshal. So before anything happened, he went and he davened that he shouldn't be nichshal. Okay? He's in Eretz Yisrael as a spy. He sees what his friends want to do. He runs to Chevron. So real quickly, Are you allowed to ask a mace for a bakasha? It says, Bakshu alai. You didn't say, ask the Rebbeinu Shalom. And many say that we have to say pshat over here. Nobody's happy with this. No one. Nobody agrees that you could ask a tzaddik, even the Avis HaKdoshim, directly for a bracha. Either you say to the tzaddik, please ask the Rebbeinu Shalom, or you say Rebbeinu Shalom in the Schus HaTzadik. That's how the Chavetz Chaim says it. Okay? The Ramah in Sim Tavkuf Peyalef and Erev Rosh Hashanah, it says you should go to the Beis HaKvaros. Lahar Beis Tchina, the Mishabur says, that's a place where the tzaddikim rest and the tefillah goes up more than usual. But the Chavetz Chaim says, don't ever ask the mace, just you should ask that in the schus of the maceim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should help me. Fine? And Derech Agav, the Magen Avraham says that a person should not go to Beis HaKvaros, the Chalal, I mentioned this, in a regular Beis HaKvaros, not tzaddikim. There's a lot of mazikim and things that stick to the body. And the Chai Adam says, especially if a person is about carry, it gives a place to the mazik to come and grab onto you. Okay, stop throwing it out there. Oh, because of that tumah, I hear. Oh, to kibbutz tzaddikim even. I'm sure you guys know every single zoya and every single gemara that has to do with this. Leaving Eretz Yisrael, going to kibbutz tzaddikim, yeah, no. The Zoya says that without the tefillah of the mason, the Chaim wouldn't have a kiyum. Okay?
Better than going to Chicago.
Yeah, 100%. But when I go to Chicago, I go with my wife.
That's even worse.
Let's go. Okay, so this is a Peladik Gemara. Bakshu alai rachamim. Remember, obviously they all bring this Gemara in all the Nidon over here. Fine. Yeshua. So this is talking about Kalev. Kalev went to what do you call it? Marsa Machpelah. Yeshua kvar bikish Moshe olav rachamim, but Yeshua didn't have to because Moshe davened for him. Shenema vikra Moshe lo Yeshua benun Yeshua. He added the Yud. Some say that this is the Yud from Sarai that was switched to Sarah. The Yud went and complained to Rebbeinu Shalom, so here he put it back in Yeshua. What does it mean? Ka Yoshiacha me'atzis meraglim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help you. Yehoshua, Hashem should help you from the meraglim. V'avdi kolev ekev hoysu ruach acheres imoi. So check this out. Let me see where I have to find it. Hold on, because everything is. So you see over here it says V'zari Yerishena. V'avdi kolev. This is what the Gemara is saying. We have to see the end of the pasuk. V'avdi kolev, because you were different than everybody else, you thought differently than the meraglim. V'zari Yerishena. I'm going to give you this land. What is it? That's what he got. It's a pella. I don't see anybody saying, but it seems very obvious. He davened in Maris HaMachpelah. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him Mida Keneged Mida, sort of, I think, maybe. Chevron. They come into the Meraglim and see these giants, Achimon, Sheishai, Talmai, going back with this idea that in the name of a person is their essence. Achimon, Miyuman Shebechav. He was the right of the brother. In other words, he's the strongest. He was the tallest. Sheishai, Shemeisim Esa'aretz Kishchosois. So Rashi says, I don't know what that means, but then he says, maybe it comes from the lotion of shayish, of marble, that his feet were so huge that every time he took a step in the ground, he made a little bit of a pit. These huge human beings. He dragged his feet, made like furrows in the ground. You don't say Achimon bona anos, Sheishai bona ulosh, alush, Talmai bona talbush. In the name, you can see the places that they built. What does it mean? These are the sons of the giant. Their father was also a giant. Kiryas Arba. These are the 4 giants. You look up, you see the giant's neck. His necklace is like his neck is like where the sun comes out of. It looked like it's coming out of his neck. Chevron, 7 years it was built. My nivnasa. Ilema. Here, let's see the pasuk, because this is also very important to see the entire pasuk. The first word of the pasuk is Chevron. Lifnei tzayim Mitzrayim. 7 years before Mitzrayim. So what's going on here? If you say that it means it was built, check out this pasuk. Who comes first in this pasuk? Mitzrayim, and then comes put Uchnan. Chnan is after Mitzrayim. So why would a person build a house for Canaan before his older son Mitzrayim? So it cannot be that it means literally building. Now I just want to point out before I forget, Toshan says here a very, very interesting thing. He says, why was Canaan destroyed 47 years after Mitzrayim? Why were the Zoicha? Look at the last words in the Toshan, and it goes over here in Amud Aleph. He says, because they said to Avraham Avinu, to the Zaken Avraham Avinu, Nasi Elokim Ato b'sichenu. For 4 words, they were Mechabed Avraham Avinu. They lived for 47 years more. It's unbelievable. Couple of words. El Shoysim Avuna Alechod Meshiva B'Tzoy. It was more. You were able to plant 7 times more than Mitzrayim. Ve'elachot Roshim. The worst place in Eretz Yisrael is Chevron, it says over here. It's very stony, very rocky. How do you know? Look, it's a basic forest. If it was good to plant stuff, that they wouldn't bury people there. The best land is Mitzrayim. It says in the pasuk that diamonds like Eretz Mitzrayim. It's so good like Mitzrayim. If the best place in the world is Mitzrayim, and the best place in Mitzrayim is Tzoyan, and Chevron is 7 times better than Tzoyan, you can imagine how good Eretz Yisrael is. And still, the Meraglim spoke about Eretz Yisrael. Again, Mitzrayim is the best country in the world for planting. Tzoyan is the best place in Mitzrayim. Chevron is the worst in Eretz Yisrael, and it's 7 times better than Tzoyan. Klal Yisrael sent its people, the Menachem to Tzoyan, to Mitzrayim, and they put them in Tzoyan, the best place in Mitzrayim. Okay, it's late, so we'll stop over here. Rabbi Say, have a wonderful day.